In this podcast episode, Matt Walsh joins Joe Rogan to discuss his recent comedy film that tackles uncomfortable topics surrounding race and societal issues. They explore the nature of racism, the impact of social media on public perception, skepticism surrounding the moon landing, and the role of humor in social commentary, all while emphasizing the importance of free speech and critical thinking in today's society. Walsh discusses his recent comedy film, which tackles uncomfortable topics surrounding race and societal issues. He shares his experience interviewing Robin DiAngelo, a prominent figure in the anti-racism movement, and how he managed to get her to participate in a comedic reparations exercise. He emphasizes the absurdity of the high fees charged by various individuals for their participation in discussions about race, pointing out that the exorbitant prices serve to highlight the ridiculousness of the industry surrounding racial discourse. The conversation shifts to the nature of racism and how it is perceived in society. Walsh argues that while real racism exists, the current discourse often exaggerates its prevalence. He critiques the tendency of some individuals to interpret everyday occurrences through a racial lens, suggesting that this perspective diminishes the experiences of those who face genuine racism. He cites examples, such as Michelle Obama's recounting of personal experiences with perceived racism, to illustrate how some narratives can be overly dramatic and disconnected from reality. The discussion also delves into the role of social media in shaping public perception and discourse. Walsh notes that the internet has become a breeding ground for both genuine and fabricated outrage, allowing individuals to express extreme views without accountability. He highlights the phenomenon of online mobs and how they can distort reality, creating a false sense of consensus around certain beliefs. This environment fosters a culture where people feel emboldened to express hateful or extreme opinions, often leading to polarization. Walsh and Rogan explore the psychological impact of constant online conflict and exposure to graphic content. They discuss how witnessing violence and engaging in online arguments can lead to desensitization and anxiety. Walsh argues that the normalization of such content can have detrimental effects on mental health, as individuals become accustomed to a barrage of negativity and hostility. The conversation takes a turn towards conspiracy theories, particularly the moon landing. Walsh expresses skepticism about the authenticity of the moon landing, citing various points of contention, such as the technology of the time and the lack of subsequent missions to the moon. He raises questions about the Van Allen radiation belts and whether humans could have safely traversed them. Walsh mentions the famous flag footage, where the flag appears to move despite the lack of wind on the moon, and suggest that this could be explained by the physics of the situation. He references Bart Sibrel, a filmmaker who has produced content questioning the moon landing, and discusses the complexities surrounding the evidence for and against the event. Walsh argues that while there is evidence supporting the moon landing, the absence of evidence for a hoax raises questions. He compares this to other historical events, such as the JFK assassination, where skepticism exists about the official narrative. Walsh suggests that the vastness of the conspiracy required to fake the moon landing would be more complex than the event itself. Yet, he acknowledges that the era was marked by significant deception and propaganda. The discussion touches on the role of government in shaping public perception and the potential for manipulation. Walsh posits that if the government wanted to conceal the truth about the moon landing, it could easily do so by controlling information and silencing dissent. He emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and skepticism in evaluating historical events, particularly those involving significant government involvement. The conversation transitions to the influence of media on public opinion, particularly regarding political figures like Donald Trump. Walsh notes that the media's portrayal of Trump has been overwhelmingly negative, and he discusses how this has affected public perception. He mentions the concept of hate speech and how it has been weaponized to silence dissenting opinions. He argues that labeling certain speech as hate speech can be subjective and can lead to a chilling effect on free expression. The discussion delves into the impact of social media on society, particularly on younger generations. Walsh expresses concern about children being exposed to smartphones and social media at a young age, arguing that it can lead to addiction and a distorted view of reality. He emphasizes the importance of teaching children how to navigate these platforms responsibly, as well as the potential long-term effects of early exposure to harmful content. The conversation touches on the nature of conspiracy theories, with Walsh suggesting that some theories are based on legitimate concerns about government transparency and accountability. He discusses how the public's distrust in institutions has grown, leading to a rise in conspiracy thinking. He argues that while some conspiracy theories may be unfounded, there are instances where skepticism is warranted, especially when it comes to government actions. The dialogue shifts to Walsh's recent film, What is a Woman, and the process of creating it. He explains that the film aims to expose the absurdities of contemporary gender ideology by engaging with individuals who hold extreme views. He describes how he approached interviews with a calm demeanor to encourage participants to express their beliefs freely. The film features a range of characters, including activists and academics, and aims to highlight the contradictions within the gender debate. The conversation also explores themes of race and identity, particularly in relation to Walsh's experiences in a support group for white individuals grappling with their privilege. He recounts how participants expressed feelings of guilt and shame about their racial identity, leading to bizarre and uncomfortable moments. Walsh emphasizes the absurdity of the situation, noting that the participants were willing to engage in self-flagellation as a form of penance for their perceived racism. Throughout the discussion, the importance of humor as a tool for social commentary is highlighted. Walsh explains that by maintaining a deadpan demeanor and allowing individuals to express their beliefs without interruption, he can create a space for genuine dialogue. This approach not only makes the content entertaining, but also encourages viewers to reflect on the absurdities of the ideologies being presented. The conversation concludes with a reflection on the future of free speech in America. Walsh expresses concern about the increasing censorship and the potential for government overreach in regulating speech. He argues that the ability to express differing opinions is essential for a healthy democracy, and that the current climate of fear surrounding free expression is detrimental to society. Rogan and Walsh agree that the preservation of free speech is crucial for fostering open dialogue and understanding among individuals with differing viewpoints.